Okay, what's going on, guys? To Eres, mi Idolo is a new evolution. You are my idol is what the evolution is called. Obtain idol status through this evolution. Also available through an SBC. Add a finesse shot plus and a rapid plus to your arsenal with added playstyle boost all around. Now, this is what's very interesting. These are some of the two best playstyles you can get inside the game. And it's very interesting. You know, first of all, you get the +5 plays, +2 shooting, and the +10 stamina, which is very, very important. You get the regular playstyle and you get the skill moves upgrade to 4. Then you get attack positioning, the finishing to 94, which is very good for this stage of the year. And we get the quick step and Travella for, of course, all you mechanic abusers. And then we get, realistically, the first touch. And then we get the weak foot to 2. And then we get the rapid playstyle. Plus, I think this is a fantastic evolution. If you have an existing player, I think this can work very well. I've got some players over here. We also have Rashford, but we're probably not going to be putting on him. It's pretty much a waste. But if you can find a card, unfortunately, you can't put it on. Yeah, you can't introduce 3. Bit of a downside there. But let's say you had someone like Diani, you could give 2 plays. I wish they got rid of that cap. But let's go into some of the best players that we can actually get now. What's interesting is there is no requirements, is there? So technically speaking, if I'm not mistaken, can I put this on a centre back? Can I? Can I put it on Van de Ven? No, sorry, I can't. Okay, so it must not have above 70 defending and 84 physical. Okay, now let's go over to foot.gg. I think this is a fantastic one. Let's have a look at some of the evolved players here. Eto is one that springs to mind. You know what's interesting is, I think, because of the pace upgrade alongside the finishing, you could really make a player that otherwise wasn't really top tier caliber too. So you can see I've got this old card, this Mancinelli. What a card he is, by the way. But it's probably not worth. But you see this Rashford card, I didn't complete him all the way. But you can see now I can get Rashford on 94 finishing, 95 sprint speed without agility and balance. Yes, his passing may lack. Or this Havertz card that I'm actually playing him in centre mid. But he also gets those upgrades and brings his finishing to 94. So this is actually a very good chain, I would say, of chain evolution. Let's have a look at the trending. Well, we're too early. But like have a look at some of these cards. Now, what I'm going to do is, Dembele. Now, this Dembele, a bit pricey. I think he's also in the other evolution, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, he was, or there was another evolution that he was in. Interesting, because his finishing was bad, but now you only take it to 88. You see, 88 finishing is not that good. We're going to make some filters in a second. Some pretty decent cards here. Pajot Heung-min Son. Now, you don't have to even go with this Son. Maybe you can even go with Gold Son. I'll have a quick look over here. Hang on, let's have a quick look. Bit too early here while we're waiting. Should take a couple of minutes or so. Gold Son, what was that evolution called? I forgot the bloody name of that evolution. You know, the one where you could make it into a left back. I ended up putting, who did I put there? I can't remember who exactly I put. I put that guy for Atletico Madrid, that car that we got. But I'm presuming you can put this one. You can put Gold Sun. You put him on center stage. That's not what we want. You can. So even interesting. So if you wanted to give Son a rapid, although he does like some other play styles, you can get him to 94 finishing and 93 sprint speed. I think this is actually looking like a really good evolution. Who else is there? We've got Dybala. I think he does an 85 sprint speed. We're gonna put some filters in. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put some of the major leagues on. We're gonna get rid of some of the filters as well, because I'm gonna be honest, at this stage of the game, absolutely you do not want to be playing here. You don't want to be playing with sprint speed of 85. Kvaratskhelia, we have another nice, decent card. Brings him up. He was already a decent card, but if you have this card, 38k, probably going to be going up. Can also play left wing and right wing and cam. Some of these cards that are a bit more universal can really help. If you've got him, has anyone really got him? 372k if you've done him at that time. Not many people, but I think that's also another decent card for the Serie A teams. Lookman, interesting. Let's look at Lookman over here. 90 sprint speed, 94 finishing, and 5-star. You know, the key thing is you're really bringing someone to a 5-star weak foot here. Saka, another very decent card. We saw this in the Jack of all trades. This is another good combination, and we bring his 5-star weak foot up. I think going for the 5-stars was key. Elise, we've seen a lot of him on the professional scene. Evolution worthy now. And you can see, look, he's got also gets a Travella playstyle, can play right wing, got the French links as well, another decent card there. Is anyone really else that's really standout-ish? Dumbia, if you did him, actually, technically speaking, if you did Streets Not Forget Dumbia, you could actually buff him up even more. Interesting. So that is actually a very interesting one as well. Di Natale. Actually, you know what? We forgot to include icons. I keep forgetting to include the icon leagues as well. Pretty interesting. So of course we went through Eto already. Is there anyone else? I thought that was Julian Draxler. Salah. There's a debate whether he's better off going into the other SBC, but Salah's shooting stats weren't already amazing on the gold card. So maybe that's something you can consider. You can see the gold card is shooting stats, especially his long shots weren't the best, but I also take Salah up if you are a big Salah fan. We've got Lacazette as well. Let's see, we're looking at the second page. We got R9. Wow, so R9 does fit in as well. 96 sprint speed, 95 finishing, 91 shot power. I think potentially, I think at that point it's just wasted. I don't think it's really worth doing for the small upgrades. You're better off. Mia Hamm is another one. Oh no, she's going to be bloody extinct again, isn't she? She's already partially extinct. But you know, she's already got the 94 finisher, I'm not mistaken, on her base card. But now again, just like Strike Force was, I believe, was it Strike Force or was it Clinical Finisher? One of those evolutions. Can't remember the exact name, but that brings her up as well. 90 finishing, should I say, sorry. But I think that improves her finishing as well and her long shots. There's some pretty decent cards here. Alejandro Garnacho, I think, is another decent card as well. Again, we're going to put just a few more filters. Van Persie gets in. This is where I think this one really comes into play. Those cards that were basically on the fringe where they were too slow, now you can make them much better as well. Ansu Fati, Ian Rush. I think also, is anyone that's really 5-star, 5-star? We've got Larson. By the way, this Larson, absolute steal of a price. Now you can bring him up. So I think, you know what, this evolution, be careful. Don't just use it just yet. I know you can be Malin. Reminds me of the last year Malin, the R9, 5-star, 5-star, but it's only as 4-star, 5-star. Gabriel Jesus. As I said, I would probably just wait. Let's have a look at who's trending. So Vinicius Jr. This was the leak that we did see before. So we saw Vinicius Jr. basically extinct now, or basically is. This was the lead card that came out. Look at that. And don't forget, he's now getting the finesse shot. Imagine if you got rapid first. Wow, that would have been insane. But look at that card. 95 finishing, 5-star, 5-star. You know, had he had 4-star, I would have been like, maybe not. But I think the 5-star, 5-star, he looks really, really good. Hansen, we saw the leak. That is why she basically went out of packs and she's basically extinct. But she also fits into the evolution as well. R9, we saw Saka, Musiala, Zola. Now, this Zola card, I think, is actually a very nice evolution. One thing that I would say, though, I would probably compare this to the other Zola evolution, which is Strike Force. Has it finished? I'm pretty sure it hasn't finished, has it? Hope it's not finished. Maybe it has. Strike Force has finished. So if you missed Zola on the Strike Force, to be honest, you could probably do him over here because Strike Force was a really good evolution and you got basically very, very similar stats. You don't get the low driven, which I believe you got in Strike Force. But that's also another similar one. So if you did miss it, Dembele, we talked about, is finished a bit bad. Jarzinho, actually another decent card as well. Again, now what we're going to do is going to finish off and just... Oh, Neymar. Sprint speed could be higher. Is anyone that's really standout-ish? Is that James Rodriguez? Ooh, decent card as well. Now we're gonna do Bale. Oh, is that the new Bale that gets in? No, that's the old Bale. I was thinking for a second, that's the new Bale. Now, what I'm going to do is Messi too slow, Yamal. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add some stats in. Shellin. Hang on, there's a few other cats. Oh, Shellin looks very nice as well. Gets the rapid. I think she's quite affordable as well. Don't forget these icon level cards as well. Gives you the links. I think now when there's so many mixed teams, Dalglish was extinct. Basically came back down. He's still holding because of Strike Force. And he fits in well over here. Wow, the game is shifting. The game is moving quickly. Salvino as well looks pretty good. And Kaká. Now, what we're going to do is... Let's now... Ooh. Cruyff. Now, look, to be honest, we can go forever looking at some of these cards. Does anyone quickly stand out-ish before we go ahead and we go and put the main ones? Nedved, one of my favorite cards. At least we bring him up. Now, what I'm going to say here is... I am going to be a bit picky in the way that I do these. I'm going to filter these now realistically. We'll come back to the most popular as well. I'm going to go sprint speed. I'm going to talk about minimum 90, right? finishing, I want 92. I agree that I might miss a few of those cards out. It depends on the stats as well. Shot power, I'm going to go 88. Long shots, I'm going to go for 88 as well. Ideally, you want a higher shot power. Composure at this stage, we're going to go for 88. Reactions, even though I don't really care about them too much, but people have obsession for them, put that 85. And agility and balance, although it's not the most important thing, I'm going to go with 85, 85. Now, I know we're probably going to kick a lot of people out of this criteria, but I just want to have a look here. Let's have a look at the major leagues as well. And then we're going to put the icons in as well. So who do we have? Not that many players here. What is the reason for that? Let's drop that. Hang on, let's have a look at that. Let's even drop the shot power. Maybe the finishing is a bit too much. Sometimes as well, Foot.gg doesn't really add all the cards in. Not that. Why is it? So the long passing. It's meant to be long shots. Apologies. It's meant to be long shots. Long shots. And we'll put that at 88. I think at this stage you kind of want the top of the top really here. So we got some really decent cards here. You know what? I'm going to also go far and put the acceleration. I think acceleration now I want 85. And then just for short passing, I think we're going to put it at 85 as well. For long passing, we will leave. And the reason we'll leave long passing, not many cards have very good long passing as well. But you can see we've got Drexler, another decent card if you want to go all the way up. Anticipate. Now, what's interesting with this card is, oh no, you can play centre back. Actually, while we're here, I just saw that defense. I didn't look at attacking stats. Nah, I was just seeing was anyone that could fit in here. Salah we know about. Gakpo, also another decent card. What was this card? This was an SBC. Oh, it was a Shadow Showdown over the head it was called. That's not a bad card either. The reason why I'm putting an emphasis on short passing, because I think short passing is important. I think any of these cards are really good here. Now, now we also want to do a bit more. Let's do who has both the finesse and the rapid. So who just gets these? And then we're going to do a bit of another filtering. 5-star, 5-star. So Kaka we looked at briefly. This Kaka gets in as well. Very interesting. You know what, guys? I think there's so many cards here. I think, look, any of these filters here, I think it's fine. Mateus Cunha. I might actually do this one on the Cunha card, to be honest. I might. So I've got my Cunha. Who else do I have in my team? I'm doing this on my content creator accounts. I don't really have that many players. But you know what? I might actually consider doing it on my Cunha because he already got the finesse shots. So he'll get rapid. You know what? I think that's a pretty nice card. 94 finishing. Beautiful for finesse shots as well. I think that's a really good card there. So you know what? There's actually a lot of variety, if you're asking me. We're just going to go with 5-star, 5-star for a second. Let's just see here. Not many with the play styles. We'll drop this and this. Am I doing a bit too extreme? We'll get rid of rapid. Oh no. We've actually crashed the site. Anyway, look, guys. I think with any of those cards, I think any of them would be fine if you're asking me. I think there's so many good cards. I think, look, the website has crashed. I've done this. Let's upload this video, and I think this is fine. We've already been talking about it a lot. But anyway, look, I think this is a really good. I think, look, as I said, just wait. There's two Eres, Ídolo 2 as well. Why is there two? Oh, yeah, one's obtainable through the SBC. They said that in the leak. So also available through an SBC. Unlockable through an SBC. Interesting. What is this SBC? So you know what? That's actually a really nice way. You can actually use fodder to unlock the SBC. That is actually pretty neat. I actually really like that. But I think we will probably end it there, guys. I think, yep, we're probably Zola. Anyone else that really stands out is probably not here. Ginola, actually. That's a nice Ginola card. But we'll leave it there. Liao looks pretty good. I think there's so many good cards for you to choose. But wait, I would say don't hastily do this one. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.